What is the crack, folks? Welcome to the NuMuze Podcast. I'm your host, Lewis Nevin. Just before we get into today's episode, I want to say a massive thanks to Amps Studios in Belfast for sponsoring today's episode of the podcast. If you need any mixing, mastering, engineering, any training, or live sound, then go to the link in our description to access all of that. Let's get into the episode.
Oh, it's gonna happen.
It's bound to happen at some point. Is it going to happen in this?
We'll see
have
what
to
happens.
See. Are we rolling?
Are we rolling?
Oh fuck. Okay. Right, here we
Heavy
go.
4X has already been talked about.
We haven't even done your intro. What is the crack, folks? Welcome to this episode of the podcast. We're joined with the man, the myth, the legend, Charlie Hanlon.
Hello.
How's it going?
I'm alright. I'm not too bad, Lewis. What about yourself?
I'm doing well. Cannot complain. Just go ahead and introduce yourself to the people at home. Tell us a little bit about yourself for anyone who may not know who you are.
My name's Charlie Hanlon. I'm a singer, songwriter, full-time agent from a land far, far away called Downpatrick. Place where St. Patrick was buried.
We were just talking about before the podcast. I visited St. Patrick's grave, and apparently that's the only thing that's going on in Downpatrick.
Yeah. It's there's some. Yeah,
There's also a St. Patrick's museum
There is a museum, which I've never really ventured inside of.
and a Heron's Country Fried Chicken.
Country Fried Chicken, CFC, represent. Definitely one of the better ones, I'd say.
Yeah, no, Balmoney. There's definitely nothing on Balmoney.
You know what the best one I've ever had was?
What?
Drumore. That was banging. That's the best CFC I've had.
You should start doing what the boy on TikTok does. Go and ride.
Yeah, I think that could be a new career line. But anyways, yes, I make music, and yeah, that's about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Is there any sort of influences behind the music? Who can you hear on the tracks, influence wise?
Loads of different stuff. It's always changing, like what I listen to, but I love artists like Blossoms and Sam Fender. They'd be the early sort of influences for me.
Yeah.
Also a band from Cavan called The Stripes. They were like my first big influence. They were the kind of band that made me want to go out and play music, you know.
Good stuff. The Blossoms, I haven't really took a deep dive into them, but I've heard so many good things about them.
Yeah. No, they're class. Like one of the best live shows you ever go to.
Yeah.
Honestly. Yeah.
So I sort of want to take it back to the very start for yourself. Kids Today. That's how I first came across you. Was on ATL Introducing. Kids Today was played. It was I remember watching the music video as well. It was just you scooting about in a bike, which I absolutely love. I mean, I love the idea of a music video that's just simple and you could just tell that it was all DIY and that it was all done by yourself.
A little bit shade.
No, but here that adds to it. I mean that's sort of what made it. How do you think Kids Today sort of paved the way for yourself in terms of like your writing now?
I think it was the first song that I wrote and was kind of like, oh, I'm a little bit onto something here, I guess. Like, it was the first song I definitely was like, oh, that's very different to everything else I've done in terms of the quality, maybe. Like,
Yeah.
as I've gone on over the years, I don't think as fondly about the song anymore, but that's natural because it was 15 when I wrote it and 20
Yeah.
now, like, so, you know, and my taste and all has changed so much, but it's still like a really fun song to play live sometimes, and I'm really grateful for that song in a way because it was like off the back of that song so many good things happened for me, and really got my foot into the local scene with that tune. So yeah, it's a good, and the video as well, that was like just a last minute thing. I was like, oh, I'm putting the single out, and I think we did it like 2 days before the song was even out.
That's the way to
Just
do it.
really, I edited it on my phone with like InShot. I don't know if you've ever used InShot.
No.
You have to like use an ad to get rid of the watermark and all. Like, yeah, it was really DIY, but it was like me and my mates were hanging out, and I was like, do you want to do a video? And we did the video, and who was it who did it? Oh, you know her, who's a fabulous musician. It was him and my friend Jack Deegan, and we just went round Downpatrick and show people the lovely sights, and I pretended to sing my song.
This St. Patrick's Museum, the lovely sights.
We were close enough. Yeah, we were close enough.
You were mentioning sort of about how like this was sort of like when you had wrote Kids Today, it was almost like, okay, this could actually be something. Had you been writing previous to that, like songs that had never went out?
Oh yeah, loads and loads. Like, I actually had a single out before Kids Today, which has now been taken down. You can still find it on YouTube. But so Kids Today technically isn't my debut single.
Oh, okay.
It was a tune called Will You Stay Tonight, and like I'd wrote that song to try and win a competition that I didn't win. So maybe it was a telltale sign to maybe not release that song.
Yeah.
But I had that one, and I'd been writing for I don't know how long at that point. Like I had little bands and stuff when I first started, and we were always writing songs. Old Man with a Cane and all, that was one of the songs.
Because you've been playing guitar and sort of doing covers and stuff from when you were like relatively young, like.
Yeah, I think I did. I've been busking since I was about 9 years old, and it was great. Like, you know, they were just looking at this little kid on the streets in Downpatrick singing and gave me all their money. It was just good, like. But I outgrew the baby looks pretty quick, so
Yeah.
it started going downhill. But yeah, and then I started playing music when I was like a toddler. I started drumming, and that's been something that's sort of something I still do to this day, and one of my favorite things to do. But yeah, I've been writing songs, I guess, since I was about 10, and playing guitar and just little things like, you know, write a song about your sports day at school or the girl you like or something. That's kind of
So it is all real stuff that you can relate to. It's not just from a perspective or anything.
Yeah, well that's how I went into it when I was like a kid.
Yeah.
I immediately was writing about sort of my surroundings, and I'm not saying it was anything good.
Yeah.
Because I was 10 years old, but like, you know, I would write really directly about something that happened to me that day, and that sort of stuck with me right up until now, like 10 years later, where I'm still writing about really real things to me, or like things that kind of have happened or loosely based on things that have happened, you know.
Do you have a favorite one of your tunes that you've written that can be released, not even released yet?
I like them all in different ways. I mean, Godsend, that's always been a favorite one.
One yesterday?
One as of the day we're recording.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Oh yes, that's right.
Yeah.
You won't see this for maybe 2 or 3 months.
We'll see. But yeah, it turned 1 yesterday. But 1 yesterday, and then 2 years on the same day since I recorded it. So it took me a year to get that song out to the date.
Was there a particular reason, or was it just like a mental block?
It was more, no, it's like we recorded it and we finished it, and then it just sort of sat there for a while, and then we did another mix, and then I got it mastered. But I was just in the midst of probably my maddest year of gigging that I've had yet, so I didn't really have a lot of time to think about releasing. So yeah, it was a nice way to start last year, to be fair. Like, and it's a song I'm still proud of to this day, and it will probably never leave the live show.
You talked about how you drum. Do you do all of the instrumental yourself? Is it all done by you, or you get other people in as well?
Yeah. In the studio, it's me recording, and then Michael Marmeka producing. We were in the studio there last week recording some music that will be coming out at some point soon. Might be out by the time this is out. Who knows? And I think it was actually the first time where I sort of was like, "Here, do you want to play this part?" So we sort of separated it between the two of us. But ever since before that, it was always me playing the drums or on the bass and everything on the tracks, because it was easier for me than hiring out session musicians, because I knew the parts in my head, and then I was like, we'll go, just it gets it done quicker.
So was it you when you first start a song, is it you're just sitting with a guitar by yourself, and then everything else you can sort of start to build around that, or how do you go about it?
Yeah, it kind of just they pop into my head every now and then, like little ideas, like even if I'm driving or something, and I'll like be singing to myself a bit. Like it usually starts with a melody of some sort with no lyrics or nothing, and then I'll go home and it might be a bass, it might be a guitar, it might be a piano, and whatever is sort of easiest to grab.
Yeah.
They sort of start to lay down something for it, you know. So yeah, that's kind of always the way it's been. I mean, lyrics I have to sit and think about, and like sort of like I can't remember the last time lyrics were just sort of free flowing for me. Maybe back in some of the earlier songs, but as I've got older, I put like a little bit more thought in the lyrics, a little bit. But like the actual song itself, like the melodies and all tend to just fall out of nowhere.
Yeah. And it was 2021. You were a part of the Scratch My Progress scheme.
Yes.
In the OES Centre. How do you think, I suppose, local venues like the OES Centre that do all these schemes, like how important do you think they are for the local scene?
Unbelievably important. Like with all the bands and the scene and all, it's just so important to have places like the OES Centre. It's almost like a hub.
Yeah.
For everyone, and especially when I sort of got involved with them, I was 15, 16. And they just showed me that it could be done, because I was kind of like a bit critical and didn't think that, you know, it was that much of a possibility. And if it wasn't for people like Charlene, Kiva, Shan, Charlotte, they all just sort of took my hand and went, yes,
you can do this.
You could do it, and here we're gonna help you with anything you need. And to this day, if I need anything, like just a bit of advice or anything, like they're always happy to answer me, and it's just so lovely to have that sort of support network. So they really helped me out, and the Scratch was amazing, because that, like being from Downpatrick, I don't think I'd even been to Belfast that much.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I was like studying in the Belfast Met, going to Scratch after classes and stuff, and then getting to meet these like really cool artists that were on the program with me. Like I was on with Problem Patterns, Miles McCormick, Jack Devlin, Susie Pagel, and it was just so cool to like get to know other people in the scene, and then through them you meet more people, and then you meet
all about
so
networking. I mean, I think Belfast in general, I mean, I work a lot within the Derry music scene, but I find like I've only come up to Belfast fairly recently with the scene, but everyone's very supportive here. Yeah. Everyone's very open about, look, if 2 hours before a gig your guitar amp breaks, you guarantee you have another guitar amp there from somebody that you can call in. You know what I mean? I mean, everyone's so supportive up here.
It's a small enough city as well, so you get to know everyone pretty quickly, because like, you know, you go to your sports club or you go to Voodoo or whatever, and the chances that another contemporary of yours that are going to be out drinking or either playing a show are going to be there is very, very high. Like, I don't think I've ever went out in Belfast once and not met at least someone from another band or someone in music.
Or myself 2 weeks ago.
Or
in the
yourself
Ulster
2
Club.
weeks ago.
That's the truth. I was kind of raging, to be absolutely honest. I happened with another guest that we have on, and I literally, like, I had never met the both of them, and next thing I met them, the 2 weeks before we're doing the podcast, and it's happened with you as well. And I think I said let's not talk, or fuck off, Charlie, because I want to save it for the podcast, because I have a tendency to like start interviewing people when I'm like,
Lewis is always on the grind. He's always interviewing. He's always questioning. So, we nearly ruined this conversation right now, didn't we?
Yeah, we literally because the first time I met you was at Lord Jane's release party.
Yes, actually, was that the first time we met?
Yeah, because I know we had chatted a lot, and we had I'd obviously done a lot of
exchanged a few messages here and there.
Yeah,
you know?
And I'd done a lot of promotion for yourself, and you were like, big shout out to Lewis Nevin, who came up to see me tonight. It's like, and it was like I was still relatively new in the scene, and I was like, fuck, what do I do here? Do I put a hand up because that'll make me look pretentious, or do I just act nonchalant and cool.
I love putting people on the spot, man. It's great.
Just love embarrassing people.
That was a great gig.
It was a very. I done an interview with Cobra Promotions, and then asked me about my favorite gig that I've attended, and I put that as the favorite gig last year. I think it was, apart from I got a parking ticket.
Oh, did you?
I got a parking ticket from Tomb Street car park.
I actually think I might have got a ticket that night as well. Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about your local favourites at the minute. Anyone people should be listening to? Anyone you want to shout out?
You know what? Like I haven't really found that many new bands recently. Like I've sort of known my like ones that I sort of grew up with, but I haven't really been about for that much recently. I've sort of been taking a bit of time out. So, but like you got your people like Polar Bolero or Class.
Yeah.
Vera are
Vera.
Absolutely unreal.
It was my first time seeing Vera the other night.
Yeah.
And I was blown away. I couldn't believe that I'd never seen them before. Like I'd seen clips and stuff of them, and we had one of their songs, a song of the week.
Yeah.
Lo-fi. But yeah.
Getting high in a lo-fi way.
He's a big fan, guys. What can I say? Yeah, anyone else in this scene?
They're class. Blue Deputy are great.
Love Blue Deputy.
Unreal.
Up a Kill McFadden behind the camera.
Disorder. They're smashing at the minute. They're really good friends of mine. Susie Pagel, I've mentioned earlier. Martha Greer.
Yeah.
Me and Martha have been friends for a long time.
You used to play with Martha, didn't you?
Yeah, I used to play a bit of bass with her here and there, and we'd done some writing together as well, but we've drank a lot of pints together as well, like, you know, and
that's the most important of them all.
I mean,
you
like,
drank more pints with her.
I met Martha my first gig after COVID, and I think it was her first show. So we were both sort of coming through the scene at the same time, and it was just so nice to have someone to, like, you know, talk to about, oh, what gig are you doing this week? Or, you know, so yeah, Martha's great, and her music's class, like, as well. Madam's Last Discovery. There's so many, like, yeah. Franklin.
I think at the moment, the scene here is doing better than it ever has. It's getting more coverage, and there's so many great bands coming up.
Yeah, there's definitely a change happening of some sort. I think just more people supporting each other and that sort of vibe, you know. And because the industry's just collapsing as it is, so it's so nice to see on a local level that everyone's got each other's back, you know.
Yeah.
And that's something I didn't really feel very, like, early on. I just felt sort of on my own a bit.
Yeah.
But then having people like, you know, the Boys in Disorder and Martha and all, like sort of like as like a support network as well, you know, like, so we can all talk about, like, kind of how we're feeling or what we're doing towards this next project. Because
sometimes it is genuinely just having that person who can give you a bit of validation, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess so. Like, I mean, like, even Davey from Disorder, like, he hears all my songs before anyone, and I hear all their songs before anyone as well. And it's kind of like, you know, they will send each other tunes, and then it'll be like, that's a bit shite, or that's great.
Yeah, and I think it's actually having the having that trust that you're able to call it shit if it's shit. Having, like, being able to be honest and being able to be like, look, it's not the best I've heard from you, and you could probably do better. I think having that trust with a band or with anyone in the industry is a really good thing to have.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, it's good to have. Yeah, that's the way I'd say it.
You talked about how you'd sort of taken a wee break there for a while.
Yeah.
I just wanted to something I wanted to, like, talk to you a little bit more in depth about is something that I've definitely experienced as a musician that sort of does everything myself and do all this and do NuMuze and stuff. Is burnout ever something that you've experienced, and how do you go about mitigating that?
I wouldn't necessarily say I've experienced burnout. What sort of happened with me was, like, yesterday, maybe I'm burnt out. Last year, it was very much in my camp, put the foot on the gas and then take it off massively, and then put the foot in the gas again, and then take it off massively, which never really works in this industry. You know, you need to just have your foot in the gas the whole time.
Yeah,
it's ruthless. Like, and I think last year, like, I did a few industry festivals, and they were absolutely fantastic to be a part of, and something that, like, were just really good experiences and learning curves for me. But sort of like meeting other artists and like all that sort of crack, you know, long gone are the days of like, you know, you meet an artist and it's like everything's fucking great.
Yeah.
Like, what I was noticing was every artist I was talking to, and including the people I was talking to, we weren't talking about, oh, we're excited for the gig. We're talking about how much it costs us to get there.
Yeah.
The fee we're getting. And, you know, like, it's like, because it's really, the industry's on its knees. It's struggling. And they like artists are struggling. And we all need to look out for each other, like, in terms of our mental health and all. Because, you know, and it's important to have those conversations, I guess, as well. Because it's like, you know you're not alone in that sort of sense of, you know, right, maybe I'm not the only one who spent all that money to go and do this gig or whatever, you know. And yeah, it was really interesting. But pretty much I did Ireland Music Week, which was a great experience.
Yeah.
And I just thought to myself, you know, I'm going to take a bit of time out, because I really don't know what, through doing those sort of things, it's like I really don't know what I want to do, in a way.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to even continue doing this solo project. Do I want to form a band, or what's the sort of crack? And literally when I came into the new year, I was like, yeah, I still want to do it. So I'm back in the studio now, and I've got gigs coming up, which I'm sure you know nothing about.
Yeah, nothing about it at all.
There's definitely no gigs involving Lewis or anything like that.
No, not at all.
But yeah, it's just like, it was. I was happy I took the time out, because it was just time to think and time to breathe, and, you know, not be as relentless for once.
No, I hear it, because it's like, I know we were talking about burnout. I think what you've done is nearly maybe you knew you were going towards that like black hole of you're going to be burnt out, so you stopped, you took a moment to think, and I think it's good advice.
Well, I think
to be honest.
sure, no one's in a rush. That's another thing as well. Like, you know, there's one thing putting your foot in the gas and burning yourself out, but no one's in a rush. There's always second chances as well. Rejection's a thing, and that's totally normal in the industry, and it's totally fine as well. But yeah, that's the main thing I'll say. No one's in a rush to hear your music. It's more like whenever you're ready to give your best go at it. And I just didn't think I was ready enough to give my best go at it, and I think I am now, you know, in a certain sense. But I'm really excited to get back out gigging. That's the thing I've missed the most.
Yeah, because
gigging, like, I
mean, you done a plethora of gigs last year. I mean, was last year your biggest year for gigs? Is that?
I'd say maybe 2023 was a little bit busier, but last year was probably bigger shows here and there, and yeah, like it was a great year, to be fair. Like, we did Whelan's in Dublin, like our first Dublin headline show, and we sold it out and everything, and it was great to be around the sort of Dublin scene a bit more last year. Like, my mates in the band Politic, they're unbelievable. Daniel, Kevo, he's played guitar for me a few times as well, and they've just been so supportive of me sort of getting involved.
Did he play at the Tulips launch gig?
Yes, he was there.
Brilliant guitarist. I was like in awe. I couldn't believe it. And you said that, like, yous were sort of, well, maybe exposing your secrets here. You were sort of winging that.
Yeah.
Like, he had never played with us before, had he?
Never set on stage with us before. His band opened for us in Dublin, so he'd seen the set.
Yeah, it sort of could gauge the vibe, I suppose.
Yeah, he'd seen me a few times. Like, we've been friends for a long time, but yeah, he had never stepped on a stage before. Soundcheck was our first rehearsal. And man came prepared. Like, he brought fucking notes, everything. Like, and
really
more prepared than I've ever been for anything, to be honest.
Sure, it was very, very, very good.
Yeah, he's great. Love you, Daniel.
talking about Ireland Music Week down in Dublin, how did that come about? Did you just apply, or were you asked to go down, or how did that?
Yeah, I think it was an application process. I see, the thing is, a lot of my applications are sent in at like 1 a.m. in the morning when I'm like, oh fuck, I need to apply for this festival, or I see like an ad on Instagram, and then the amount of times I forget that I've applied for something, and then I get an email being like, you want to come play this fest? I'm like, yeah, thanks. And then I'm trying to work out and pinpoint, did I send an application or not? But I definitely did for Ireland Music Week, I think. And yeah, it was great. They were really supportive, like in sort of, you know, making sure you know what you're going to be doing, making sure that you're going to be speaking to people from the industry. Like we did Zoom calls and all where all the artists met, and like we sort of did like before, weeks beforehand, where it was like, here's the rundown of how the week goes and this is what you're going to be doing. And yeah, so I was in Dublin for 4 days, like just like pottering about, meeting artists, seeing bands, and you know, meeting people from the industry. And it's really good that they set up that foundation for artists to go and do that, you know, like just bring it to your doorstep.
I think it's brilliant. You sort of mentioned like they nearly had got you together before you had actually met in real life. Yeah, because it can be such a daunting task, especially for myself. Like I'm far away from Belfast, I'm far away from Derry, and it's like such a daunting task just coming in to it blind and not knowing anyone. Yeah,
especially when you're on your own. Like I was down there on my own until the band came down, and I wouldn't be the most confident of people, so I really pushed myself to go to the artist meetup, and I went down, and you know, someone was like, "Oh, I saw you on the Zoom call," and then all of a sudden had like all these new friends, you know.
What was your favorite gig of last year that you done?
Oh God, what was my favorite gig of last year? I'm thinking here. Voodoo Belfast opening for Coach Party.
Yeah,
that was such a good night. That was such great crack. Like, and also probably the two ones I did with Sam in Sports Club. Sam from Blue Pill PR. Definitely not doing a gig together or anything like that.
With NuMuze or anything.
With NuMuze or anything like that in the same venue. But yeah, it was great to meet Sam. He's such a legend, and he's so supportive of the scene, and just really, he's a promoter for artists, you know.
Yeah.
And because he's an artist himself, and he's in so many fabulous bands. But yeah, the one we did with Polar Bolero and Vera, which was great, and it was under Blue Pill. That's one I'll remember for a long time. And then the one with Lord Jane as well, which was only like 2 weeks after. We were on a bit of a sports club tour there.
Sports club, what a venue! I absolutely love Sports Club, and it's my first time in Sports Club. That night I met you. Like I was never a part of like the Belfast scene until recently.
Class.
Like, well, within like the last year. I mean, I was going to Derry Tech, and I had no idea how to get into the scene, so I started NuMuze, and that's why I done it. Is Sports Club your favorite venue in Belfast?
Yeah.
What is your favorite?
I would say probably Limelight too.
Really?
I really love the sound in there, like on stage and off. I love Centre just in general, and their venue space is great. And shout out John Moorhead, the man, the wizard, the legend. I don't think he's ever been called a wizard before.
That's a first.
Sorry, John. Yeah, he's an absolute hero. He does the sound in there for most gigs, and also does a lot of mastering for music. So he's mastered a few of my songs and stuff. So he's a big legend. But yeah, Centre Sports Club is great, to be fair.
Yeah.
I just think I've had too many drunken nights in there to really say that I love it so much. Like, you know.
Brings me swiftly on to my next question. We were speaking before the podcast about pints of Guinness. Where has your best pint of Guinness ever been? Because you consume a lot of pints of Guinness, do you?
Not a lot. Come on. only the 8 at a time, like, you know.
date in 1 hour, maybe.
Yeah, 1 hour. Yeah. Best pint of Guinness I've ever had. I'm gonna really be an advocate for Downpatrick here and say Denver's and Downpatrick. Denver's bar, class, especially if it's served by Big Willie. Big Willie, he knows his crack.
He know the score we pouring a Guinness.
Yeah, you just know it's gonna be a good night when you walk in there and you see his smile, and he just starts pouring you the Guinness before you've even asked. Like, it's just beautiful. And you look your barman in the eye. Have you ever seen that video?
What?
How to have the perfect Guinness experience, right?
No.
He's like, look at your barman in the eye, stand proud. Smokiness at the back of the throat. And, but I feel that every time I go in there.
So you're telling me that they know your order? It's this case of like,
actually sounds bad now, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's like, do you ever see the boy over in New York? He like goes into like a pizza shop every day and orders the same thing to see if they will turn around to him and be like, do you just want your usual?
Yeah.
Is that the case of?
I guess so. I mean, nah, it's not like I used to play in there quite a lot when I was coming up, so they all know me. That this doesn't make it sound any better. Yeah, they know that I drink Guinness.
No, because you're a bit like me. Like every single photo I have on my Instagram, I have a pint of Guinness sitting beside me, or I have it in my hand, or I think my whole highlights reel of last year was just me with a pint of Guinness in my hand.
Yeah, so I'd say Denver's DPK. Yeah, Downpatrick.
Well, see if once you get the Derry to do a gig the next time, I don't know when that's going to be or who it's going to be with, maybe NuMuze or something. But go to
news to me.
Go to the rocking chair.
The rocking chair.
That is the best pint. That is the best. We're getting an approval from Keil McFadden. He's a Donegal man, so he should know Derry pints.
Rocking chair. To be fair,
it is the best pint of Guinness I've ever had. Yeah,
well.
Sandy's good pints of Guinness. Tell us then a little bit about what you have planned, gig-wise, festivals or anything this year.
I'm just in the midst of it all at the minute, like trying to get stuff organised and get booked for stuff. If there's anyone listening to this, I'm available. dbkmassive@gmail.com.
That's right. That actually is your Gmail.
Yeah.
That is,
I stand proud on this Downpatrick front, even though it's a shithole.
I
don't know why.
Do you not have a shirt that says straight out of Downpatrick, or is that?
Yeah. That's Ash merch, actually.
Really?
Yeah. I got that from a gig of theirs. I can't remember which one, but straight out Downpatrick shirt goes hard. Actually, my bass player, Bella Bryson, she is one as well. But she's kind of lying because she's not really from Downpatrick. But
she's from the Thing Is it?
Well, she's from the Thing Is, but not Downpatrick.
No. I know. I mean the band. The Thing Is for context.
Yes, big up the Thing Is.
The Thing Is.
I love those guys. She's from Killaloe, you see, and there's been a few gigs where she showed up wearing a straight up out of Downpatrick t-shirt, and I'm like, I don't know.
Outside of the local scene, who are you listening to at the minute?
I've recently discovered Tom Waits, so I'm kind of late to Tom Waits.
New to me, I have no idea.
No idea. He's like a legendary songwriter from the 70s right up until, I don't know if he's still writing music, but yeah, I've sort of discovered a bit of Tom Waits recently, and I'm getting into that. Venga Boys.
Yeah,
no.
You can definitely hear that influence on the Charlie Hanlon songs. No, I feel like I'm very out of touch with like some of the legends.
The legends.
I like, you could give me a name of a legend, I probably don't know who it is.
Ringo Starr.
I know Ringo, of course. Beatles.
Yeah. George Harrison.
Beatles.
All right. He's safe. He knows. Yeah.
I've watched Yesterday. Come on, like
fuck. Load of shite, that film.
Ed Sheeran makes an appearance on it. That's my favourite part of it.
It's the Ed Sheeran, maybe. I've got a lot of time for Ed Sheeran. Don't know him personally, but I've got a lot of time for him.
He was in the US Centre like
a month
ago.
He walked past me.
Were you at the US Centre?
US Centre that
really?
Night. Weirdly at a Tom Waits like tribute gig. And well, my dad's a musician, and he was playing as a part of that gig, and then my two producers, Danny and Michael, were part of that gig. So I was sort of hanging around beforehand. And we go in the OES Centre. Me and my dad walked in, and there was this like press conference on. We were like, "Oh shit, fuck, what's this about?" And then we go back in the front lobby, and someone goes, "Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, Ed Sheeran's in there, and we were like, "What?
No,
What the
I feel like
fuck's he
it
doing
was
here?"
kept on the down. Like I had no idea that it was happening.
You know what he was doing though is absolutely fantastic. Like
Yeah.
I'm so much of an advocate for what he's doing, and he just woke up and said, "I'm gonna sort out some shit," and he is doing that. So
Because
fair play to him.
Gary
Like,
Lightbody was there too.
Gary was there
And
as well.
He's incredible. I mean, he doesn't have to do what he's doing,
Yeah,
helping the local scene, but he is.
it's just so good to see that there's still like those massive artists that still care about grassroots and stuff. You know, because there's grassroots venues are dying out, and
Yeah.
also a lot of stuff Ed Sheeran's foundation are doing are for education, musical education in schools, and towards that, which is also really important. You know, I know people that are musicians just from learning in high schools. You know,
Yeah.
and if there's none of that, where are all the musicians going to be? You know,
Exactly. Because I'd seen him. I don't know if you seen him been interviewed at Output. Gary Lightbody.
No, I missed it.
Yeah.
I was too busy painting.
Pinton Guinness. No,
No.
he was been interviewed at Output, and he was saying that before Snow Patrol gigs they play Northern Irish music,
Oh really?
playlist of Northern Irish music,
Wonder if I'm on that
which
playlist.
you may be. I have no idea. I
You lifted your phone up as if you've got it.
Gary Lightbody. Here is Charlie Hanlon on one of your playlists. But no, I found that unbelievable because it's same again. It's like he doesn't need to be doing that, but
No.
he is.
Well, it's good music though.
It is.
Yeah,
It's
so
incredible
of course
music.
he's doing it.
Yeah.
You know, like my boys in the Florentinas, they just finished the tour with Snow Patrol there, and they are another band. Them and Brand New Friend both really championed me very early doors. Like literally before I even had releases out. Like, and yeah, I love the Florentinas. Shout out the Florentinas. They're smashing it. Like,
Talking about Florentina's supporting Snow Patrol. Is there any dream people you would like to support? Any bands that you'd love to support?
Declan McKenna.
Yeah.
I'd love to support Declan McKenna, Blossoms, CMAT. I just think
Yes.
that would be the best tour
Wow.
ever. Like, if I went on tour with CMAT, imagine the absolute crack you'll have every night.
Scenes.
Yeah.
Serious bands again. It's been downed.
I would say Wonder Horse, but that's just not going to work. Like,
Why?
I just don't think it'll work.
But why?
But
though?
Wonder Horse, if you're listening,
Jacob Slater. You see if you're listening to the NuMuze podcast.
I know he's a
right
big
now.
fan.
He's a massive fan
Yeah.
of NuMuze. I love Wonder Horse. I'm going to see them in Dublin in August.
I've seen them 6 times. You know,
Really?
too many. No, they are good. Like, but like, you know, I think 6 times is a bit excessive
Yeah.
to see the same band like within the span of a year, like, or a year and a bit. But they are class. Like, I saw them in Sports Club actually.
I was meant to go to that gig,
Yeah.
and I either had a ticket or I maybe sold the ticket, or I just didn't.
Or
buy
got
one.
ID'd on the way in.
Did
you
you?
know? No, you.
Oh, I got ID'd in the way. No, that was like going like 2 years ago now.
Yeah, 2023. That was
It was like February time, wasn't it?
possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah, my memory's a bit dazed to that.
Have you ever seen Fontaines?
Yeah, I actually saw Wonder Horse opening for Fontaines.
Yeah.
Ulster Hall, and I saw them in Customized Square as well. They're good. I had a ticket to go see them at the 3 Arena as well,
In December there.
but I missed it. I
Yeah.
literally I kind of forgot it was happening, and then was like, I'll sell my ticket to someone else. Like, but yeah, they're all right. They're a good band.
I want to see Fontaines so bad. I want to see Wonder Horse so bad too. I seen Idols in November.
Yeah, I was there.
Were you?
Well, maybe were we at the same one?
I went the Saturday night.
No, I was there at the Sunday night.
It was fucking mad. Sir.
It was fucking great.
It was.
Can I get a hallelujah? Here from the back door.
We went in early and we seen Chalk supporting them.
Oh yeah,
Chalk are
Chalk.
great,
Absolute legends again. The sound this boy's about, like, yeah.
unbelievable. But no, we were at the very front, and then first song Collide, we just got split, and
Yeah,
we went to like the middle of the Telegraph building, maybe even further back actually.
the same thing happened to us. We were with, I think it was me, Flynn and Martha, and our mate Bex. I don't know why I'm naming who I was with. It doesn't make much of a difference to anyone. But we were all standing at the front as well, and we were like, we've got a cracking view of the stage here. Colossus comes on, and it was just like, yeah,
that's it, Colossus.
And I think by the end of that song, I was at the bar again, like right at the back of the venue. Not by choice; I'd been thrown there.
Yeah, it was Colossus. I had said Collide, but they asked you to collide. They're like, they split the crowd in half.
Yeah,
and then they make you run towards each other.
Yeah,
it is mad. Just going to finish up then with anything you would like to add, anything you want to put out to the people, anything coming up.
I will be releasing music again. I haven't disappeared. I will be gigging again. When I do that, please purchase the ticket if you can. It will not only benefit me, it will benefit everyone involved. Isn't that right, Lewis?
That's right.
Yeah. He knows nothing about it. It's got nothing to do with it.
Definitely has nothing to do with NuMuze or People PR.
I want everyone to love each other and take care of each other as well.
100%. I think that's a good note to end on with everything going on in the world right now.
Up a DPK Massive.
Sweet.
Follow Charlie Hanlon on Instagram and stuff like that as well. Listen to my music, you know.
Yeah. Is that us?
Help
that
me.
Is us.